can say here.
Are you? And I relate to it.
You see this? She was completely isolated, heavily invested, and literally waiting for me to kiss her. But I did not. In today's Infield breakdown video, I'm going to show you exactly how my wingman and I isolated two girls from the dance floor, the psychology of isolation technique, and why having abundance does not mean you have to kiss every girl who wants you to. You're going to see the psychological power of the pullback and how it completely flips the script.
My ass is big.
Why?
Yeah, I am proud of my ass. I am a good
You
boy.
work out.
I'm going to show you the exact mechanism of frame control and how denying a woman validation would make her chase harder
I cheated on my ex. I don't know.
and also expose her real red flags. So grab a notepad and let's begin with this infield breakdown. So let's begin with this infield breakdown video. So just to give you a quick context, this was day 1 of the boot camp and I was with my student, and this student, he saw two girls who were dancing on the dance floor, and as soon as I saw that, I asked him to open. He opened right there and there were two girls. So he was engaged with one girl, and so I had to wing him and I engaged the second girl so I could see his game through and throughout and also help him. So let's begin.
I Taekwondo. Fight. Bodyguard, good. Fight. I'm teaching I teach lady boys, you know. Yeah, in Thailand. I have big business. Teach lady boys how to fight. Self-defense.
So as soon as they opened, they had exchanged their names and the girls were like, what do you do? So I taught my student about this technique that you don't have to be all serious. Oh, I am a software engineer, blah, blah, blah. You need to ease out much more when you are at nightclub. You need to have fun. So one of the technique he used was pretentious playfulness, and he pretended to be like a taekwondo self-defense course seller for ladyboys in Thailand. And that was very funny. And I also joined in the banter and I was like, yeah, he sells course to ladyboys in Thailand. So the girls were very intrigued and they were pretty much in. So this phase you see, right, it's the hook point and the attraction phase. When you initially go in like a group of girls or like two set, you need to hook them and you need to spike the attraction very fast. That's how you can hook in nightclubs especially. So moving on.
Otherwise, you will be able to see it on the body of the I would be so happy.
So right now we are just establishing light banter and our physical presence. So the girls also started getting involved in our frame, and you can see in the frame, this is my student, and right next to my student is the girl that he was into, and they both were vibing pretty well, and I was recording and I was winging him by talking to her friend.
I would be so happy. No, upstairs. You want to smoke? Okay, let's see.
So this was an infield that I had to cut because there was audio lag, there was a lot of other things that was not needed, and the video wasn't clear. So right here, when I sensed that the sets were in and they were started buying in our frame, that's where I seed the logistics of let's go to the upstairs section where we can smoke. Do you want to smoke or something like that? So this is just an excuse that you need to make. It's called plausible deniability. What it does is it it's an social excuse that would allow her to follow you wherever you want to lead the interaction. So the way it works is that you don't say directly, oh, let's go and sit upstairs and be much more comfortable and let's make out. No, she will obviously say no. That's like a direct resistance for her. Instead, you give a social excuse like, oh, let's go upstairs, maybe we can smoke, and that's an isolation excuse. No, that's much more socially acceptable. And another thing that happens here is we are removing them from the social matrix, like from the dance floor arena, and that's how we are able to seed the isolation. And you'll see ahead how we isolate them in the second phase.
You like? You're not. Cigar? No cigar tonight. Only beer.
So two things are going on right here. If you listen to my student, he's doing the qualification playful push part, and what I'm doing is I'm seeding the logistics. So if you have a good wingman, right, this is the ideal scenario when you don't have to do the full game by yourself. You can split, like maybe your wingman will do the qualification part, other one will kind of handle the logistics, kind of seed the pull, all those things. So this is what's happening right here. And the way I do it is, cigarette is kind of, everyone smokes cigarette, but cigar is something more intriguing for her, and I asked her, try something new. It's like a new experience that you want to try with us, right? So it's much more likely she would want to do it if she's adventurous, and I give her that frame. She's like, I have not tried, and that's how I seed the isolation.
No cigar tonight. Only beer. She never tried any.
Clearly, I'm smiling. That means I'm happy that he's doing it right. What he's doing is qualifying playfully and also building some sort of rapport. He's like, no cigar tonight, only beer. Then what he does is like next, she qualifies and then he's like, oh, okay, then maybe we can smoke cigar. And I'm like, oh, good. Listen to it again.
Only beer. She never tried any. Okay, we will consider. You have to be nice. You have to be nice. Okay, good. This one.
So she says, okay, that's how you get like the investment. That's how you get her to like agree before we actually lead them to the smoking area upstairs.
Good answer. It's like girls from Nepal dancing good. Because they have the local dance, right? Local dance. Show me a step. I know Karma.
So you see girls are laughing here, giggling here, and we are still like teasing them, local dance, do you know Garwa, this, that, something like that on the dance floor.
Local dance. Show me a step. I know Karma. You know? You are shadow.
One more thing you should notice that after she said yes, let's go, we don't rush to take them upstairs. No, we kind of keep vibing, let it happen naturally. Or else what other guys would do is, oh, she said as let's go directly, then she knows, like she can sense the agenda, oh, you were just wanting to take us upstairs and isolate. No, you keep the vibe, and that's how you like go for the isolation along with the vibe.
What do you do with them?
I have it in my car, but my car
You seem like someone who wants to do something.
I'll get it.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll have to get one more pack. Also, I mini seed that I have a car, maybe we can go get something like that. So I kind of paint a picture, maybe outside also there's a possibility, and I kind of test how she reacts.
Maybe I'll have to get one more pack.
No, yaar. It's like hangout spot.
What is ready?
Business manager. Gujarati.
So Surat. We are on the picture of Dubai. You clear push
Where do you live?
I live in
That's a friend.
Alright, alright.
Slight bit of teasing and slight bit of rapport building at the same time. They ask us questions back and forth. Which is a good sign.
પછી રિલાયન્સ से आया लोग रिलायंस में जॉब हार्ड
Live in
that's a friend.
Alright, alright.
તે પછી રિલાયન્સ से आया लोग रिलायंस में जॉब हार्ड
So here's the phase 2 where we get them upstairs and isolate them. I had to cut it because there was a lot of faces to be blurred, and as it was a club. So we go upstairs. And here, as soon as we go upstairs, I knew the vibe was on. So I was like, where do I sit? But I look at the seat which she was sitting at, and she just said, oh, sit. So we sat at the same seat, close to each other, close proximity. So you can see here.
No, where were you, sir?
અહીંયા બેસી જા
Sharing it. That's the sweet of you.
બેસી જા ભાઈ તું મને સુતા પીવડાવે છે તો
I met this mutual friend. So he said, इससे ले लीजिए स्क्वाट अब बैक रोल करने को.
So you can see here. We sit close by.
इससे ले लीजिए स्क्वाट अब बैक रोल करने को. And he was rolling more. तो वो बोला कि पहले इतना भी.
And this is my student with his girl.
And he was rolling more. तो वो बोला कि पहले इतना भी इंट्रोड्यूस है. प्रत्येक अंदर आई. तो I was wanted to introduce and she इसको चाहिए था. नहीं बोलते बोलते नाम ही भूल गया. Sorry. Good afternoon. The chef.
Close by on the same chair, shoulder to shoulder. So the closer you sit, the more in physical proximity you are, the better you can game. In nightclubs especially, you need that kind of isolation. There should be compliance from her side as well. So this is how you get to the compliance part by actually amping up her emotions, amping up her buying temperature, and then going for the isolation with close proximity.
नहीं बोलते बोलते नाम ही भूल गया. Sorry. Good afternoon. मेरे हाथ में तो chef sir from but actually आ जाएगा वापस देने लिए. अरे ये भी आ गया. Eat together we're going to. Can it? We are going together. Yeah, तो भाई. अरे.
So you can see we just gave her one cigarette. So her brain just needs an excuse. It doesn't matter. Even if you don't hand her the cigarette, it's still okay. I mean, she won't even remember. It's just a logical excuse for her brain to start complying.
Eat together we're going to. Can it? We are going together. Yeah, तो भाई. अरे. She's also coming.
और क्या है
Now you see my student right here, and this is his set, his girl, and my girl is sitting with me on the same chair, and she's smiling, so it's a good sign. And what we do here is we are kind of talking in group, so we seed the future date, like let's go some adventurous thing, like which will also amp their emotions, is like future adventure dates. It's a very common technique, but the most underrated technique. So we say, let's go to Dubai after exam, and we'll make her donkey instead of like going for the flight, or we'll just put her in the plane and we'll take her, something like that.
Exam is over on 5th November, right? 5th. Her exam is over on 5th November, right? 5th November. So she can just sit in the plane and her donkey karwane ke exam.
तू क्या टीच है
Both Marathi. 10 kids. 5 of them will talk Gujarati speaking. 5 of them pure Marathi speaking. 5 of them will be mixed, which we will send them to mass.
Okay, let's talk about politics.
Okay, you want to talk politics?
Are you left or right?
So you see here, what she does is, when I say 10 kids will have this, that, some adventure, sexual undertone kind of frame, she kind of gives a shit test very subtly. Okay, let's talk about politics. So this is like the phase 3, where she would make you jump through her hoops, and that's kind of a shit test. She'll bait you to do it. Most guys would jump through it, and I know it's a hoop, but I deliberately jump through it so that I can just reverse qualify her. It's like boom, oh, she didn't see it coming. She thought, oh, I fell for the hoop. I'm failing the shit test. You'll see right here.
Kids. 5 of them will talk Gujarati speaking. 5 of them pure Marathi speaking. 5 of them will be mixed, which we will send them to mass.
Okay, let's talk about politics.
Okay, you want to talk politics?
Are you left or right?
Left and right. Who are you using leftist?
I mean, you
5 of them will talk Gujarati speaking. 5 of them pure Marathi speaking. 5 of them will be mixed, which we will send them to mass.
Okay, let's talk about politics.
Okay, you want to talk politics?
Right here, she made me jump through her hoop. This is hoop number 1, which is a shit test. And she bait me to jump through the hoop. Oh, now let's talk about politics. She just completely ignored my topic. Oh, we'll have 10 kids and we'll send them to mass, something like that. And she just like, and then let's talk about politics. I understood it's a hoop. And I deliberately like, okay, let's talk about politics. Let's see what you've got. And I pretended to be like, failing the shit test and getting in her hoop. What I do is I burst her hoop. Like you'll see her.
Okay, you want to talk politics?
And my tone is like, okay, you want to talk politics. It's not like, okay, yeah. Like, I knew it's coming.
Politics.
Are you left or right?
Left and right. Who are you using leftist?
I mean, you can actually kind of.
What is the
I say, yeah, I'm both something like left and right, and I don't like answer her. Like I just like, you seem leftist, and I reverse qualify and start teasing her. That's where she like the shit test is passed, and then she laughs and giggles. Oh, he didn't get in my hope. Oh, attraction spike again. Watch again.
You left or right?
left and right? Who are you using leftist?
I mean, you can actually kind of.
What is the apolitical?
Also, what she says, I'm apolitical. And I misinterpreted and I said, what is gay political? You said gay political. She's like, no, I'm apolitical. So, yeah. Her frame is busted right here. So you can see what I do here is I say my ass is bigger than yours. So this is a playful sexual undertone that I do to build sexual tension. And immediately she's like, oh what? Like, and then she's like, do you work out and all that. So again she's like trying to qualify me, and maybe she's also trying to set up another hook. But you'll see ahead.
Yeah, I am proud of my ass. I am a good
You
boy.
work out. You work out.
What do you think?
We just had a conversation about.
bicep दिखा.
So yeah, she's like, show me your bicep, chal. No, that kind of way she's trying to make me qualify. So what amateurs would do, they would immediately be like, oh, see my bicep, touch, feel, or whatever. Like, oh, I don't know if I have it, but yeah, that's what amateurs would do. But as like a smooth operator, I know it's a hoop. So what I do is I frame the hoop here. Last time she did the hoop. Now this time I'm kind of setting up the hoop here. What I say is, you tell me 2 good things about me. Maybe then I'll show you my biceps. So you see, we are sitting on the same chair, ass to ass. Like my ass and her.
Okay, work out.
What do you think? We just had a conversation about.
bicep दिखा.
So that's. Tell me 2 good things about me. I'll show you.
मेरी ass confidence.
What she does here? What she does is, she does not jump in the hoop. She like does a push back. She gets up from the chair and see, you can see her, and she sits on the chair right next to us, like right next to her. So that's kind of an ego push from her side. Now, why would I invest so much? It's just a random guy I'm attracted to right now. So that's an ego push from her side. It's a pushback basically. Oh no, I'm not qualifying. I'm not getting in your hoop. So she rejected the hoop clearly. But that's how I set up the hoop. Now right here, most guys would be more reactive. Oh, why did she go away? She was like so close to me right here. She just went away. They would start acting needy or they'd start acting reactive. But you'll see here, I kind of am unbothered completely. I'm like, okay. And I have that calm demeanor. I'm just like, cool. Doesn't matter, right? If you come, you go. It doesn't matter.
मेरी ass confidence. I met a guy, okay? I was smoking cigarette at 10 this car. He was the.
So right here, as she sensed that, I'm non-reactive and I'm unbothered at all, So what she does is, again she tries to get my attention. Yo, you know what happened? Then she starts her jealousy story, to make me jealous or something like that. And most guys would start chasing here, right here. No, I don't I just keep my frame, I hold my frame as it is. You'll see here.
I met a guy, okay? I was smoking cigarette at 10 this car. He was the normal. And वो इतना चूतिया बंदा रहा यार, he just he was from CM, not even Air Force.
Look at the way she's laughing. That's like trying to seek approval again, trying to seek my approval again, And I'm still unbothered, with the jealousy plot that she's trying to put. So she's making the jealousy plot just to see if I become insecure, I chase, or try to create some reactivity out of me, which she couldn't. So I just hold my frame.
And वो इतना चूतिया बंदा रहा यार, he just he was from CM, not even Air Force.
So
Come sit.
yeah, so right here, after this is resolved, after my frame is still intact, I give her the masculine command, come sit here, because I know, right, she's lost this frame, and then she immediately gets up and she sits back, even more closer this time.
Come sit.
Are you?
Like that, I relate to Britney Spears.
So you see her as she came close and sat to me, and there was like Britney Spears song going on, and one of the lyrics is "I'm not that innocent." So she sings with a vibe and giving me eye contact with like a sexual undertone to it. It's kind of a bait again, and most guys would be like, "Oh, okay, happy," they laugh at it and something like that. But you need to call the bait. You need to call the bait. And how do you do it? You need to align your words with your actions. So I'm like, let's see, like, let me see. And then I go for the kiss. And then I call it a bluff. Now, that's how you call it a bluff.
Like that, I relate to Britney Spears.
Yeah. You have that serious.
So you see what happened here? When she gave me the sexual undertone, like a proactively, and right there, I saw, is this like real or is she bluffing? How do you call the bluff? By escalating. And the way you escalate is by testing it playfully, like testing the compliance playfully, non-needy, no carefree way. So I just go like, oh, let me see, and I go for the kiss. And then she actually backs off playfully. It's not a rejection. It's just like, oh, he didn't fall for this. No, most guys would fall for it. They would in their mind think, oh, she's in. That's how you call the bluff. And right here, what you see is the attraction would spike more, because I'm the one who's like, don't care, if like I call the bluff. I know, like I'm the guy who's not getting manipulated by girls like you. I'm not the one who gets like sexually manipulated by girls. And like girls usually what they do is they give the sexual bait and they pull back. They give the bait and they pull back. And most guys are thinking, oh, why, what's happening? No, she's into me, but I don't know what's happening. So you just call the bluff, and then she has nothing after this. No, she has no game after this.
What I got you can say here.
Are you? Like that, I relate to Britney Spears.
Yeah. You have that serious. Alright. And how about you?
So I just calmly pull back and just keep talking normal as if nothing, It's just nothing. You get a kiss, you don't get a kiss, not big of a deal. Like it's the same for me.
What do we
Tell me about the
I had sex. Kali is the
we can have it? Like what's like the wildest?
So I asked her some questions, adventurous questions. What's the wildest thing you did? And she was like, I had sex the same day I met a guy, something like that.
We can have it? Like what's like the wildest?
Why not? Maybe it's your first. No, it's your first time to everything.
So right now, after I go for the kiss for the first time, and she playfully like backs off, and she looks at me that I'm being non-reactive, I'm not chasing at all. I'm where I am. This time, look at her body language. She's much more relaxed. She's just like in much more surrender state. Like right now, if I could go for the kiss, it would be like there's like an actual kiss thing. But what I do is I qualify more. What's the wildest thing you did? Have you ever kissed in public? And I keep those frames like holding. So that kind of when the girl qualifies to you, that means you're the prize. So here's how you frame yourself as a prize.
No, it's your first time for everything. Even outside girl, they're outside in the Have you made up
So you see here, when you ask questions like have you kissed or made out in public, so thinks of the moments that she kissed or made out in public last time, and she gets in that state like when of like kissing, and she gets aroused, like it builds the anticipation and arousal again. Oh, why did he ask me? No, is he going to kiss me like this time? No, and kind of builds an arousal. So look at the shift of her body language after I ask her this question, and I move in closer and kind of builds up the anticipation and arousal at the same time.
Have you made up you cannot see the face, but she's literally like looking at me and she's waiting. She closed her eyes and then she's just tilting her head and waiting for me to go for the kiss. And she has her eyes closed and she's tilted her head and she's just lying like with her back rested against the wall and like just like he'll come for the kiss. But this phase what I do is I'm actually more focused on the bootcamp. I'm looking at my student, number one. Number two, I'm not as attracted. Number three is like I create an abundance vacuum. No, I don't need to kiss you actually. No, it's okay. So that's like a takeaway. And I do that just to like price frame me like, yeah, I'm the price, Let's see, I don't want to like hurry this even if there's like an actual kiss. No, I want to hold the power dynamics. So this is more like a power dynamics thing that I am doing right here. In fact, most of the guys would actually go for the kiss here. I hold the power dynamics. I want to look at this interaction as like a long run to win, play to win. Instead of just giving her the validation kiss and it's done, fancy infield. In fact, you'll see at the second day bootcamp where my student is actually making out with a girl that he opened on the second day. But here I want to show you more about the frames and the power dynamics and the price framing part. Also the baits of sexual undertones, etc. etc. Look at her, she's just like eyes closed, tilted her head and relaxed, waiting for me to make the move. And I don't I create the abundance vacuum, which in fact amps her more to qualify and over-invest, like you'll see further. So basically the way I'm playing the power dynamics, I'm just holding the kiss, That's it, that's like, that's how I'm playing it right here. Like, okay. Look at her tone, like it's like it's more like when will this guy like actually go for the kiss now? I'm like whatever. So look at her tone drop now, and she's like anticipating now. Is he going or not going? Is he going or not going? That actually spikes her dopamine much more. It's like
she's uncertain of the reward. She'll get it or she won't get it. So like if you want to make her chase like and play the power dynamics, you can do this. But right here, if you want to go for the kiss, I would recommend if you're a beginner, you go for the kiss.
I haven't tried.
थोड़ा बाहर होता है ना
Right here, she kind of leaned in again. No, and I still hold it. Yeah, now she's like, oh, it didn't happen, so she like gets up.
Okay, so I cheated on my ex. I don't know.
Now what she does, immediately she gets into like over qualifying. She kind of over qualifies. She kind of does like tell me more things about her to elicit maybe a reaction out of me or to show that she has that wild, edgy side of personality and she subconsciously wants my approval now. Right here, she wants that validation from me. So she asked me like, oh, guess about 3 things about me. I cheated on my ex, something. Like she gives me 3 options. The audio is not clear. So I guess it, right? Yeah, obviously you cheated on your ex.
Okay, so I cheated on my ex. I don't know. I have been
So she makes me play this game, 3 questions and 2 lies out of it, and 1 is truth. So she said, I cheated on my ex, I had something, and 2 questions I don't remember. So I'm like, you cheated on your ex, and that was the truth. So by doing this, she wants to like make the frame such that it's like wild and like it's okay. I'm much more open up. You can kiss me or whatever, like that kind of a way. And this happens because her wild side opened up much more because of the abundance vacuum that got created, and at the same time because of the takeaway of like not giving her the kiss, not giving her the validation. So that's why I could like open the wild side of her more, and you can see she's much more open. She's sharing her slutty side of whatever her past experiences she has done, etc. So this is kind of an extreme qualification. This is where you know if she's like extremely qualifying to you, that you have won the frame and that you have held the frame for strong and long enough.
Okay, what was the problem?
I cheated because we had our last time. Yeah, I cheated on my ex. And then he's gone down. He's down.
What would you expect? He's married?
Yeah, she's like, I cheated on my ex, he found out and he dumped me, blah blah blah, and she's laughing, haha.
Kebab bana rहा हूँ कौन से kebab your favorite तेरा favorite और इसके बाद
तो सुट्टा तो ला नहीं रहा
तो आ रहा है वो मैनिफेस्ट होते होते अभी सिगार भी था ना वो ड्रीम में था आ जाएगा अरे इधर ये मेरे दोस्त अभी आया तो वो लंबे बाल वाला है ना इसके बाद भी रहता
है
वो आता जाता रहता वो आ जाएगा
after like her extremely qualifying and opening up, she's like, let's go dance, let's go to the dance floor, let's dance. Maybe she'll expect some reward on the dance floor from my side. Maybe she can give me and amp my emotion states much more. Maybe she can seduce me over there. So she's like, let's go on the dance floor. So I'm like, okay, cool. And here's where my student is actually engaged with his girl, and that's how I'm able to give them isolation. And I say that we are going on the dance floor.
And she wants to dance. We'll sit here. So you are.
Excuse me, that's 13.
You forgot something.
What?
Yeah, I think.
So the way I re-lead her to the dance floor is in a masculine way, you put your hand on the waist, and that's how I lead her down again on the dance floor. And I also give my student isolation with his girl. So this is like an ideal scenario.
To dance. We'll sit here. So you are.
Excuse me, that's 13.
You forgot something.
What?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, guys, so this was pretty much the infield, and hope you liked it. There are more infields. There's like a playlist. I'll put the link down below. You can go through all the infields. There's so much you can learn and apply in real life, and you can amplify your dating life accordingly. Hope this helps. This is Prayan signing off. See you in the next video. And if you want to learn more personally from me, there's a link also beneath. You can just go and apply and get to know more about what are these techniques and skills and the ultimate masculine framework that I've developed over the years. You can just check it out right there. See you in the next video. Bye.